Welcome back to our channel AV Tiles and Sanitary Kollam. Today we are going to discuss two major tile categories available in market. They are the unbranded tiles and the branded tiles. Now how do you choose between branded and unbranded tiles? Knowing the basics of these two tiles is very important for that. Let's delve into that right away. As a tile dealer, as a salesperson, if I am asked by a customer whether they should go for a branded tile or unbranded tile, almost always my recommendation would be to go with branded tiles. Now there are two reasons which differentiates this selection or help customers differentiate their selection or make their selection. So one of these reasons is a technical reason and the other reason is aesthetic reason. These are the two main differences which you should consider or which you should know when you are choosing among these two class of tiles called the branded and unbranded. Now let's get into these two reasons one by one. First, let's check out the technical reasons. When you're trying to learn about the technical side of tile making, you should first understand that tile is a baked product, just like your bread or your cake. So which means during the manufacturing process, the process can be tweaked at many places to the advantage of the manufacturer and the disadvantage of the customer. And this is where the branded companies come into the play. See, most of the branded companies are listed companies, or these companies have crores of rupees of investment already in the market. So they cannot risk losing their reputation. So that is one reason. The second reason is because they are listed companies, they are regulated by governments. Now, governments do not tell the companies how to manufacture the tile. The governments can never do that. But the governments have put some stipulated tests which the manufactured tile has to undergo if the company has to remain listed. Now that is the most important thing to know when you are buying tiles. That the government of India, well, we are speaking from India, so the government of India has some stipulated tests which test for many parameters like the strength, the stain resistance, the porosity and etc. There are many, let's say 10 or 15 set of tests which a tile should undergo. Now only if a tile is manufactured in a proper fashion or its proper method that these tests can be passed. So technically going for branded tile is always safe. So you know that what you have got is a properly made product. Now let us talk about the aesthetic side. Now, if the technical part deals with the manufacturing process, the materials involved and the tests involved, the aesthetic part deals with the mind of the person who is conceiving these tiles on a computer monitor before they come into physical form or shape. Now, that is where the difference between the unbranded and branded tiles comes. See, unbranded tile companies, they cannot afford an outside agency, something like an ad agency that cannot be afforded by small businesses. Even like our businesses, we cannot afford to have an agency. But a corporate giant like Hindustan Unilever Limited, they can always afford an agency. So something akin to that happens in the tile business also. Now the unbranded companies would generally employ a person for all the reason except his aesthetic depth. He could be a person who is not charging too much, or he is a person who have worked in another company for a few years, but they are not sure what he has created there, or he is from a reference, or maybe he had done some good work, a few projects that he displays, and for very shallow reasons. So not very deep thinking or deep introspection is involved when employing a person to create new designs in the company. Now on the contrary, with a branded tile, what happens is they usually give this job to create these designs. So let's say this is a statuario and Kalakata and Carrara. So these are the class of material which is found in Italy in this white and black combination. But as the name changed, the characteristic also changed. So it's a statuario, this is a Kalakata, and we have a Carrara also. So then this person who is creating this, he should know how the original marble differentiates. What is difference between a Kalakata and a statuario, or how these two are different from a Carrara, or maybe there are a few other names which I don't recall now. So any person who has done some study, or perhaps who has traveled to Italy, or who has traveled to international markets where the original marbles are kept in loads, and he has checked them out and he know properly what is the difference between each of these statuario, Carrara and I'm naming only this for the simplicity's sake, but otherwise there are a lot of other marbles which I can speak of. Now if you come here, you can see a Diana, which is again a very popular Italian marble, and it's very popular in India. In marble form, the finishing cost would be like 550 to 1000 rupees per square feet, but here it is a tile in digital format. So since I have seen both the marble and the tile, I can tell that this is as good a replica as you can get, and this is from Kajaria's vitrified division. And this is a statuary of pearl, again very beautiful image of what the original marble would look. And here you can see a difference, that the statuario has the lines which are not so jetting out of the main white base, and this more or less fused with it in a very balanced manner. But if you look at a Calcutta, the Calcutta's characteristic is that these black lines are jetting out of the white base, so much that these black lines capture your attention the moment you look at that floor. So this is a subtle difference which the brands can recreate, because they employ people who are well versed in these things, who have seen the original counterparts, and who have a degree in fine arts or some course or some education background that they have, with which they are entitled to do such work. So today we have seen two reasons, one technical and one aesthetic, which differentiate the branded and unbranded tiles. So next time you are out to buy the tiles and you're looking at branded and unbranded, and the salesman is trying to convince you to buy unbranded tiles because they generally carry more margins than branded tiles. So you can tell him back, this is the difference and why I'm not going for unbranded and going for branded. But at the same time, if your budget may not allow you to go for an expensive product, or maybe you are doing a makeshift project that you're not going to need that place for many years, in that case it doesn't make any sense to go for expensive branded products. So there are reasons to buy every product, and that's why so many products exist in the market. But next time when you go, you should know that you are slightly well informed, and don't forget that you got this information from AV Tiles and Sanitary Kollam. See you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.